Hi everyone! I decided to put out another video for you this week. I think it's really going to start hopefully being another regular thing now. So today just so happens to be National Authors Day. So I wanted to take a minute and talk to you about my favorite author, who just so happens to be my father. For those of you who don't know, my dad is a published writer, along with being a registered nurse and a father and a community volunteer and a religious leader and singing in the community choir. He also writes, and he's very good at it. And I kind of missed out. I should have told you about his website sooner because he has a really great scary story, little short story for Halloween. But along with today, November 1st being National Authors Day, November is also National Caregivers Month, or Family Caregivers Month, I think more specifically. And he has a really great book out that if you are any sort of caregiver, you should really check out. And being a caregiver doesn't just necessarily mean that you are living with a person that you are taking care of 24/7. You know, you could have an elderly parent that you visit every so often, or a friend who is starting to maybe get dementia, a neighbor, you know, a loved one of any kind that is starting to struggle with everyday things as they sort of progress in life, or as they progress in any sort of, you know, sometimes dementia comes pretty early. I know that I have an aunt who has a form of early onset dementia that has really affected her life and the way the rest of us interact with her. But anyway, the book that he has in regards to this topic is called The Caregivers Journey. And it is kind of a comprehensive book that shares experiences and stories to help you understand how to better cope with what is going on in your loved one's life and what is going on with your life as you're interacting with this loved one as they progress through age and dementia and things like that. My dad is a registered nurse. He has his master's degree in nursing, and he spent about 13 years working as the director of nursing at an assisted living facility. The best assisted living facility here in Utah. It won Best of State many, many years in a row. And he worked with some fantastic people and has a lot of really good stories from that experience to help you put things into perspective and gain a better knowledge. He also currently is working as the director of education at the hospital where my twins were born. So he spends all day, every day teaching people how to care for others. So this book is really a really good resource for you to use if you need help navigating the rough sea ahead of you that is taking care of or interacting with a loved one as they progress through life, or dementia, or Alzheimer's, or whatever it may be. You don't have to be a full-time caretaker to benefit from this book. I had the wonderful opportunity of being able to read the original manuscript and kind of help him as he developed this book, because I actually worked with him at the assisted living facility for many years. I worked in a couple different capacities. I worked in the dining room, and then later I did activities for their advanced care unit. And so I've also had a lot of time to be able to work with those. Plus, aside from us both working at assisted living facilities, which by the way is probably my favorite job I've ever had. I love the elderly and I love working with them. But aside from that, my dad also spent a lot of time caring for his elderly parents. My sister lived with my grandma for a while. I spent a lot of time when my sister was having her baby. I got to go in and help. And so there's a lot of experiences that have been really helpful that he's included in the book to help other people. Because sometimes it's just knowing how to react and how to respond to someone who is beginning to suffer from short-term memory loss, or who is going through the beginning or advanced stages of dementia or Alzheimer's, and you're not sure how to interact with them, and you're feeling frustrated and you're feeling alone. The Caregiver's Journey is a really excellent resource to be able to help you navigate those. So I would encourage you to order a copy. I believe you can get it on Amazon, but his website is toddfcope.com, toddfcope.com. You can order all his books straight from his website, so I'd encourage you to check out that book if you have anyone in your life that is going through some of these new and difficult changes, or maybe it's been happening for a while and you just need help. But aside from his sort of how-to book, he also has some really great he's got some fiction books. He's got a series. It's a trio of books. And with the holiday season coming up, those are really great ones for now to start reading. The first book in the series is called So Much for Christmas. And it's about a family coming together to deal with and overcome a loss that they're experiencing in their family. And it's just a really fun book. It's got a really great message and kind of a fun twist to it. Not your average sort of holiday book. So that's a really good one. And then there are a few more books in that series about those same characters. You've got one, now I'm going to forget what order they're in. I believe it goes Accepting Joy and then A Dream Come True. No, other way around. A Dream Come True and then Accepting Joy. But they just follow that same family as they progress in their lives and the different challenges that come to them. But they're really fun, very uplifting, heartfelt stories. But my dad's first book that he wrote is actually probably one of my favorites. And it is based on a true story, or I guess inspired by a true story. He has fictionalized it a little bit, but it was an experience that actually happened to him. The book is called The Shift, and it's about when he was working as a nurse in the emergency room, and he had a former teacher come into the emergency room, and he cared for her as her life was ending, and he wrote a book about that experience. And it's a really beautiful book that actually inspired a television movie that stars Maureen O'Hara. I don't really know if you can find it anywhere, but it was the last movie that Maureen O'Hara ever filmed, that she ever starred in before she passed away. And he was able to go spend time on the set and meet her and work with her. It also stars Eric Stoltz and Trini Alvarado, who I love from Little Women, with Winona Ryder. And so it's got some pretty big names, and it aired on TV a long time ago, so I don't know if TV movies are really ever available anywhere else, but it did inspire that, and it won a Academy Award for being an uplifting, heartfelt family movie. Again, all of these books are available on his website, toddfcope.com, and I'll link that below. So feel free to check out his website and to check out some of those books. Like I said, they're really uplifting, very heartfelt, heartwarming books, and the Caregivers Journey is a really important resource and tool to people who need help. I know that there are a lot of people out there who need help but don't know where to find it, or maybe don't realize that they need the help. They just are feeling these feelings of frustration and feeling alone in their struggles in trying to help a loved one. But being a caregiver doesn't have to be a burden. It is a beautiful blessing. And like I said, I loved working in assisted living. It was probably my favorite job, was to do activities with the Alzheimer's unit. And I really encourage you, if you have someone close to you, a loved one, a neighbor, a friend who is progressing in their life and needing extra help, if you interact with them in any way, even if you're not their full-time caregiver, this book can really help you. So I would encourage you to look that up. And I know this seems a little bit like nepotism because it is my father, but that is the privilege you get when your daughter has a YouTube channel. But also, I'm not just biased. Like these books are really great, especially the Caregivers Journey. It's so helpful and such a good resource. So remember that today is National Authors Day, so celebrate your favorite author. And this month is National Caregivers Month, so celebrate the caregivers in your life. Maybe this book doesn't apply to you, but maybe you know someone who's a caregiver who could use it. You know, celebrate them, give it as a gift. Recognize those people who are caring for those that you love, or who are caring for you, or who are just caring for people in general, because it takes a really special, kind-hearted kind of person to be a full-time caregiver. And I admire all of you who do it. My sister was a full-time caregiver to my grandmother for a really long time, and I know that it really blessed and enhanced her life, and it was really special to all of us to be able to see the way that my grandma bonded with my nephews and my sister's family. And it's a blessing to those that are being looked after as well. So happy National Caregivers Month, happy National Author Day. Thank you for joining us today. I know this was kind of me just talking a lot, but it's something that I feel very passionately about and I wanted to share. So thanks for joining, and we'll see you next time.